Well, hello everyone. Got a surprise live stream for today where if you saw the little thumbnail for this live stream, we're going to be taking character sheets and turning them into Monster CRs. So instead of it being a level 8 monk fighter for Krazid here, we'll be looking at what this monk, Astral Self Monk, because he's an Astral Self Monk, what he'll look like as a CR. Hello there, Hair Doctor. Artificer's abilities to create magic items from nothing is one of the most powerful, though. It boosts DCR and OCR for sure. And hello there. Thankfully, like I said before, I only have the one artillerist on my my Sunday group, and I would save that one because I'm not too overly familiar with the artificer class. Sadly, I'd like to play one at some point, but I only have secondhand knowledge of the artificer class, so that one will have to wait. But let's jump right into this and take a look at our monk here and see what happens when their player, the levels are turned into a CR. And to get ourselves a little bit of a jump start here, the website and YouTube channel Sly Flourish by Mike Shea. He has a system of turning player levels into a general CR for us. And if we take a look at, let's see here, this cheat sheet that he created, he also has a website or a web page and a post talking about the system here. But he has what's called the Deadly Encounter Benchmark or the Lazy Encounter Benchmark. And the idea is that from players level 1 to 4, your CR is going to be a quarter of your character level. And then so on and so forth the higher you go. From 5 to 10, your CR for your player should be at base 1/2 of your character level. So, when we look at a 4th level player, they are technically equal to a CR1 monster. If we were to look at a level 6 player, they are equivalent to a CR3 monster, and so on up the line. And we have 11 to 16 for 3/4 of the total character level. And then once you hit 17 to 20, you're basically on a 1-to-1 scale with monsters of that CR. Clorox, it's easily one of the most powerful classes in 5e mechanics-wise, up there with Paladin and Warlock. Josine, hello! Clorox, thank you both for joining. It's good to see you. This is going to be a not nearly as exciting live stream as my Mondays ones usually are with the Monster vs. Monster battle. This is more of a let's turn our players into exact CRs or as exact as we can get them. And as I was explaining here, Sly Flourish's Deadly Encounter Benchmark gives us a general idea of what our players are at base without really taking into consideration their skills, abilities, and any magical equipment they have. So we're going to use my monster tool, as always, to help us generate a CR here. And we'll put everything in here that we need to. So I will probably be jumping back and forth a little bit. Or let me see if I can actually do this instead. Maybe I can get the character sheet over to the side. And then we don't really have to worry too much about jumping back and forth here. And this is Krazid. Krazid is a Astral Self Monk with 1 level of fighter, and is a pretty good fighter for that matter. Lizard folk are winning with 7, I see. Is that from the live stream you're talking, Josine? The Monster vs. Monster there? Okay. So one of the first things we can do is let's get the base information for Krazid here, our Astral Self Monk, into the tool and see what we're going here. So we have an 18 AC, which is high. I have a hard time. Well, I shouldn't say I do. My monsters have a hard time hitting Krazid, and he wants to get like another piece of AC boosting up to 19. I'm like, ooh. Probably gonna have to wait on that one. Maybe once we hit like over level 10, I'll be dropping that on him. But for now, 18 AC is pretty good for this fellow here. Now, I don't exactly know the hit points and how many hit dice, if he's taking the average or not, but we're gonna generate something around what it should be. So we'll do that for now, and let's get our stats in for 12, 18, 18, 12, 18, 12. Pretty fortunate with the amount of hit points he's got in there. So we have 9 here. Let's see what happens with 8. 8 is too low, so we'll go back to 9. So 9 is close enough. We have ourselves 76 hit points here, and he has 73 in the character sheet. Oh, watch my stream? The text. Am I not? What's... I'm lost as to what we're referencing. Oh, the top there. Yes. Okay. Let me get rid of that. Thank you. Turn that off and that off. There we go. I completely forgot about that part. Took me a minute. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, that was from the last live stream. I'm just using this blank... Did that get rid of it? I don't think it did. That or my stream is really far off. I thought I turned it invisible. Oh, there they go. All right, good. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so we have our base stats in here for our monk. Those are all set. We don't have to worry about his skills. We don't have to worry too much about ki. The ki is important though because he does have over 3 for all 3 rounds of combat. So we may be using this a whole bunch of times. And actually we need to put in... Oh no. He doesn't have action surge yet because he's only a level 1 fighter, so I don't have to worry about that, thankfully. But he does have the healing surge there, whatever that one was called. I don't recall, but he could put that in if he wanted to there. Now we do have damage resistances for lightning and psychic here, and if we had one more, we could throw in resistances for Krazid here. But since it's only the 2, we don't have to worry about that, and we can pretty much move on. On top of that, we have 2 saving throws for strength and dexterity. And since 0 to 2 is the minimum, we don't need to worry about that either. As for the expected CR, since he is level 8, I'm going to put 4 in here for the time being. He should be equivalent to a CR 4. And we'll see what happens as we go on. So this is all the basic information. That's all pretty much done. We can jump now into the features section and see what we have there. This is where the majority of the stuff is going to really start taking effect. Now, obviously we know that our monks can do a whole bunch of punches and kicks and whatnot. Second wind, that's what I was looking for. And with Flurry of Blows, we can certainly do that as well. Now, the interesting part is that because he is the way of the astral self, we do have the ability to pop out the astral arms and start, we can do an AoE attack with that. So the question here is, I don't remember how much those arms are when he pops them out. So let's see here, arms of the astral self. Damage-wise, what are we looking at for damage? Dexterity save or take force damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. Okay. What is the martial arts die? The martial arts die is at level 8, a d6. All right, so the creatures will be taking 2d6 worth of damage for the astral arms, which is good to see. Okay. So we can go ahead and put that in. So 2d6 means, on average, 1 monster will be taking 7 points of damage, and we would like to see that, at least hitting 2 monsters. If I want a fun encounter for your players, my friend is making a campaign where I'm going to play Plane Shift Naga Alchemist who sells enchanting oils. He's a little snake oil salesman, but they work. I'm not sure if that was a really long way around to get to that joke, or if that's legitimate, but I like the idea here, Doctor. That's pretty fun. The legitimate snake oil salesman as well as being a snake oil salesman. Okay, so for the astral self, we would think that in theory we would be doing 2 points of two damage on these, so we can take that output and times that by 2 for a total of potentially 14 damage when the astral arms are put into place. After that, what are we looking at for our plus to hit? Our attack bonus. Our attack bonus is what? I never quite recall. Oh yeah, it would be his dexterity plus the proficiency bonus, which we are using proficiency dice in this, but that means it's +3. So we're looking at +4, +3, so +7 to hit. So we can throw that in because all of his attacks are going to be +7. Nice. That's cool, Hair Doctor. Awesome. Okay, so our Krazid here, Krazik Shakar, with, you know, being Astral Self Monk, has a +7 to hit thanks to the dexterity bonus and the proficiency dice here. Now, what weapons is Krazid usually using? Generally speaking, he is using his Astral Strike, which is going to be dealing force damage. And for that, we are dealing 1d8 plus the mod. And the reason he's doing a d8 is because of one of the features he picked up for unarmed combat from being a fighter, which I modified just because it didn't seem to be picking up properly. So if we go over to here somewhere, there's that one fighting style that fighters can pick up, and he picked up the unarmed combat or something to that effect. But anyways, it allows his attack, all of his punches to be 1d8s. So we're dealing 1d8 on our punches and kicks and what have you. True. Yep. That would be a perfect substitute. UNT would definitely be easier to swap out. I mean, the Naga is only having a face generally. Depends on the Naga, really. Right now I'm thinking of the Spirit and Guardian Nagas that are just snakes with people faces. Yes, incredibly high deception. Alright, so Krazid here, when he punches and kicks and does monk stuff, is dealing a d8 plus dexterity modifier for a total of 8.5 damage. So that's pretty straightforward. And we're going to have two different attacks going on. We have our full multi-attack if we use the flurry of blows. So at this point, I believe he's got the extra attack feature, so he can do 2 attacks on his main attack, and then flurry of blows will allow him to also do, 2 more punches, just to be double sure. Spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. Okay, so let's say Krazid is completely healed, and this is how he's going into battle. He's just going to start going nuts. So when we do our lair action, or not lair action, but the astral arms, we can do 14 points of damage and do another 2 unarmed strikes for 1 key point times 2. And then when we go to our regular attacks, we can take that and times that by 4. So if we look at this here, I just want to see the total here. I think technically he would almost be better off. Yeah, it's technically only a little bit less damage-wise, but nothing too terrible. So first round we would do the astral arm strikes, and then that would pop out. And I don't think there's too many more benefits right now for him besides that, because he's only a level 7 astral self monk at the moment. So we have that round, and then we have these times 2. And sure enough, it looks like without anything else at the moment, Krazid is indeed a CR4 Astral Self Monk. But we can also throw in the Action Surge, or the Healing Surge there, Second Wind, as a way to get some hit points back. And for that, let's see here. Planeshift Nagas have arms, though. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. I don't know the difference with Planeshift Nagas. Resemble enormous snakes with shoulders, arms, and torso that resembles a humanoid form. From the wiki. Okay, cool. Right, 2 p.m. is 1 p.m. for me at work at the moment, but I want to see how broken everyone can be. Yeah, time zones are a pain for sure. Okay, so we have... Oh, excuse me. We have Second Wind, which we can also throw in, because it's a bonus action. We could suffer 2 rounds of attack to gain the fighter level plus the D10. So we would take the average of 5.5 plus the fighter level of 1. So we're looking at 6.5 points of healing here. So if we sacrifice 2... I did not, Mike, because we're just looking at him on his own without the bonuses from everyone else. We can take that into consideration after the fact, just to see if that changes anything. Here we go. So if we were to say, let's see here. What was I doing? E28. Yeah, like that, which is the 4 there. And then we were to do 2 attacks here. And then we add in the healing surge as well. That would be an extra, what would I say, 6.5. So we'll just do 6 points of hit points. I don't think that's really going to do too much for him. Yeah, so far, he is exactly CR4 as we were expecting. All right. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, the hit point buff is there. All right, so 13, we would need to find 60 hit points. So let me see what it looks like without that on. If we go to 8, 7. Okay, so we are still borderline CR4 for Krazid here, our Astral Self Monk with 1 level of Fighter. Because of without the temporary hit points, the DCR here shifts down from a 3 to a 2, and then we end up with 3.5, and then I always round up. So even without the temporary hit points, we are pretty much right where Krazid should be at a CR4, which is good, but it's also a little disappointing because it still shows how rough monks are with D&D is with monks. They all are basically stating, like, everyone says monks don't have the best class. They're not, their output isn't the greatest, and as we see here, even with the temp hit points, I mean, the OCR is just a little bit higher for Krazid here, only a little bit, unfortunately, and I don't see anything else that we should take into consideration. Strength 7 level, you can use your action to end one effect that you are charmed and frightened, so that's not too terrible. That's just a way to counteract the frightened ability, which is good. We do have stunning strikes, though. We could look into this as well. Now, this is going to make things interesting if we were to add in more key points for that. So let's see what happens if we start adding in stunning strikes every round. And let me back this up, and we'll take off the second wind healing, and we'll say this times 2 rounds. Okay, so on top of doing all of our flurry of blows, every attack, and also, throwing in a stunning strike, if we were to stun the target once every round, if we can do that every consistent round, then in theory, this is going to really bump up Krazid's abilities to hold out. And because stunning is incapacitating, and it's very similar to Tasha's Hideous Laughter here, which also incapacitates for 1 round, I would say let's take the 11 effective DPR, turn that into effective hit points, and add that in instead. So if we're also stunning every round for 3 rounds of combat, we'll take the total 27 effective hit points that we are not being dealt, and see if this switches anything around. Okay, now Krazid is a CR5. Yeah, I like I do like the looks of the monks, Mike. Like, they have so much potential, but every time someone talks about the monk classes, they're all just like, bleh. The closest one that a lot of people are excited about is the healing one, the one where you punch someone and heal them. The newest one that came out not too long ago. I can't think of its name. Mercy Monk, the Mercy Monk. That one a lot of people are excited about from what I've seen. All right, so if looking back at Krazid here, if the stunning strike goes off every round and we're able to stun at least 1 monster and blow through those key points, then we can get ourselves up to CR5. And it's pretty much even here. We have our defenses and our offense right at 5, and Krazid, as monks are, generally looking to be kind of a versatile player. Can get in there and do some tanking, can also get in there and obviously do some DPS and melee. What else do we have here? We got the Flurry of Blows. We got Patient Defense as a bonus action. We're sticking with Flurry of Blows, though, instead of Patient Defense. Step of the Wind. Patient Defense would be an interesting way to look at this as well. Instead of doing, instead of going on, the offense with Flurry of Blows, let's say Krazid decides, all right, I'm going to go tanky more. So we'll take off the Flurry of Blows attacks and give him basically a +4 AC bonus for every round, giving the attackers disadvantage on him for a bonus action. So let's see what happens there. Meanwhile, I have a Ranger with +11 to hit thanks to Artificer, Bear Barbarian, and with Sentinel and Polo Arm Master, Glamorous Changeling Bard with Area Control, and Tinker Happy Warforged Artillerist. Ooh, that is one heck of a group setup. Alright, so let's swap these out here and see what happens with a defensive monk instead. So we would say, let's clear out all of this here. So round 1, we're going to still go and do our Astral Self, so that the arms come out and we deal that damage. And I need to get rid of that. And then rounds 2 and 3, we're just going to do 2 multi-attacks without using the Flurry of Blows here. And we're also going to still use Stunning Strike as well. We will keep Stunning Strike going also. So ×2 there. And because he's going to be on constant defense, I'm going to say +4 AC bonus for having disadvantage every round of attack. Let's see what happens now. And now I'm definitely expecting much lower. Sure, this is the kind of attack rating I was expecting, and by hopefully landing Flurry of Blows and also, or not, excuse me, not the Flurry of Blows, but landing the Stunning Strikes and also just being a defensive tank, we can get Krazid as high as CR6, but that's going to be a lot more tanking and less interesting, as the monks generally would be. But if you think about it, as a monk is doing the patient defense and swaying a lot and bouncing back and forth, it is a cool picture in my mind to see the monk definitely swaying and moving out of the way for the disadvantage defensive there. So we so far have at base CR4 as we were expecting, but with some interesting changes and really just blowing through the key points every round of combat. We can get as high as CR6 so far. So is there anything else we could do for Krazid here to get his CR any higher? And also with an 18 armor class, disadvantage in an 18 armor class, a lot of creatures are going to find a hard time have a hard time hitting him. Let's see here. The Hair Doctor. The Ranger also got a 99 damage crit. I do brutal crits instead of 2d6. It's 1d6 plus 6 as an example. Oh yeah, I love that type of crit where you get base, or you get max on one die and then you roll the second one. That's a lot of fun. Rain, hello! How does this pan out with PC resources use? Monsters are faced at full strength and go all out, but PCs have to ration resources and come into encounters with progressively depleting resources. Well, that's the thing. At base, if we were to be very conservative with our key uses here for Krazid, we're going to see basically a CR4. I didn't check if we don't use any key at all, but in theory, we would generally be using probably, I would say, 3 key for 3 rounds of combat to get those Flurry of Blows in there. So more than likely, we would be seeing a CR4, which is what is predicted as per the cheat sheet here by Sly Flourish. And a level 5, or excuse me, a level 8 character should be equal to half their current character level. So at player level 8, he should be a CR8, or CR4, excuse me. He would get diminishing returns on the overall CR as they progressed through battles. Yeah, for sure. So if Krazid went completely all out in battle 1 and was, a CR6 defensive monk, and then we went into the next battle with virtually no key left available, which in this case we would be easily using. How much is it for? Oh yeah, it's like 1 key for the strike there, the stunning strike, and then 1 key point to go in defense. That's what, 6 of his 7 key right there. So he's going into the second battle with only 1 key point if they don't get a short rest in. So at that point, he's got 1 maybe Flurry of Blows or 1 Stunning Strike It's hard to say. We can definitely take a look at that also. So let's do that. Let's get rid of the extra AC and the extra hit points for stunning, and we go into battle with one ability to do this. So let's see. Can we do the astral arms again? I can't remember how many times you can do that. Let's see. Bonus action. Okay, when you shine, I think he can do this every battle. It looks like it's just a bonus action to do so. Oh, so we could even do. Oh, right. Okay, so we could even. Oh, one key point to summon the arms. Gotcha. Okay, so that would be everything then on for first combat. So it's 1 point to summon out the arms as a bonus action, and then still get 2 more attacks in as well. Wow. All right. So I need to reconsider that as well. All right. So let's go back to basics here with Krazid and see what he looks like. Base without astral arms. So if we were just to 2 punches and that's it, 2 attacks. In theory, I would think that he could still get a 3rd attack in for a bonus action attack, as you know, anyone with dual wielding can use a bonus action to also make an offhand attack. We'll say without any key points being used, he can get 3 attacks in. Let's see what happens there. So we'll take 8.5 times 3 times 3 rounds of combat. And sure enough, if he can't use any of his key points, if he's completely depleted on key points, he's still a CR4 monk. Although it's technically, he would be 3.5 because his DCR is holding out here at 3 and his offensive is a 4. Yes, yeah, he has the martial arts punches going on, and he also took the because he is a level 1 fighter, he took that fighting style, so his punches are actually up. At least I allowed it in the game to be updated to a D8, so that way he's a bit ahead of the curve. So his punches are actually doing a little higher than normal thanks to that fighter level. Yes, thank you, Clorox. He does have the shield ability, which I think we both forget. Which is a reaction, so he can do that once, which would be 1 AC as well, because you know we have to divide that 5 by 3 rounds of combat, so that 5 AC technically would only work out to be 1 in the long run. It's like 1.33 or something. But all right, so we'll add that in also for the shield reaction, and we'll do 1 there and see what happens then. All right, so in his 1 combat, if we add in the shield, then we're looking at a flat even CR4. All right, now let's go through this again. We'll start over one more time just to make sure we have everything correct. We have shield since he's Githzerai. He has 7 key points to use. So 1 will be to summon his astral arms, which will be, let's see here, the 14 here. And then we can also do 2 attacks there, so that's 31. Right, so that's perfectly fine. And then he can start doing the flurry blows and also let's see here, flurry blows times 2. So with just flurry blows and not doing any stunning strikes, we can get ourselves up to a CR5. And if we add in the stunning strikes, which I would say every round, that would be, he would max out at 3 rounds. After 3 rounds, he can't do anything else, and he would drop back down to a CR4. We can get up to as high as CR6 with stunning strikes, flurry of blows, and the shield as well. So that's cool. So for a really short time, Krazid can get as high as CR6 depending on if he wants to be offensive or defensive. Nice, I like that. That's cool. All right, I think we're pretty good here for Krazid. There's really not much else we could do here. We could do deflect missiles, but that's really limited. We don't know how much damage would be coming in and whether or not We could do that. I think it also, we could drop some range damage. We don't want to use the key point to return any damage. So we could stop range attacks there, but it's hard to say how much that would be. He's technically a level 7 Astral Self Monk, so I don't think he has that ability yet. Let's see here. He has evasion and stillness of mind. Oh, we forgot about evasion. We can throw that in as well. Evasion is the same thing as avoidance. And that gives another +1 AC bonus. So we've got that going. That's cool. Let's see what happens if we take off the take that off. Okay, so it looks like with a use of shield and the evasion, if that comes into play, we could be even base CR5. Hey Drake, thanks for joining up. We are looking at characters, their character sheets, and turning them into a CR for a better gauge of what to expect. Just to quickly go over this, Sly Flourish has a great tool here that's fast and easy to basically turn your characters into a base CR number for encounter building. And since Krazid here is a level 8, which is 7 monk, 1 fighter, he should be a base CR4, which he is. We've proven this a couple times over. Without using any key points, he should be CR4, but because he has evasion and 1 use of shield, he might more likely be a CR5 character, which is pretty cool. Yeah, deflecting missiles, even though it's there, it's not going to be easy to use. So, let's see here. Ability score improvement, proficiency, versatility. Let's see. Keen powered strikes, monastic tradition feature. Yeah, I don't know if he's gotten that one spot yet there, Clorox. If he's got the D8 once per turn with the Astral Arms. That's probably a little higher. Maybe the 11th level. I don't recall at the top, off the top of my mind here. All right, I think that's pretty good for Krazid. I think we can end there, and we'll take a look at another character in my Tuesday night group and switch him out. So the next one here is Willix. Willix is a goblin and a level 8 monster hunter ranger. Ah, thank you, Clorox. That's what I was guessing, because since I haven't seen it yet. Very cool. Thank you. So, Mike, if you want to share with Krazid that he can be as high as a CR6 monster at times, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we'll let him know on our Tuesday night game. Okay, so let's take a look at Willix the Uncertain, a level 8 ranger goblin. Okay, we'll reset the tool here and take a look at him and see what we get. All right, so Willix, currently at 70 hit points without the temporary bonus of the... Oh yeah, I forgot. I think we were still using the temporary hit points from the game, but that just bumps up his hit points a little bit. Not too terribly big of a deal. Okay, so we have, let's see, an AC of 17, which is really good for him as a ranger. Medium, we're just going to leave it at medium for the time being. Technically, I think we put him as small, but that's not a big deal. I'm going to throw in 8 hit dice for the time being, and let's throw in his stats. Okay, so that's that. We're expecting a 4 at minimum. We only have 2 saving throws and a whole bunch of skills we don't really care about. We do have, let's see here, the negotiator for sure. Okay, let's see. We have nothing else to really worry about here. No damage immunities. We have one thing for his armor, but that's completely unique for the armor itself, giving him, I think, advantage on poison checks and whatnot. And that's pretty much it for that. We do have his spear and spear butt attack, since he does have the polearm master. So we'll throw those in for the attacks, which he uses constantly, which is good. So the spear is dealing D8 plus the mod +1. And I think the +1 was from something. I don't remember what the +1 was from. And then the silver butt, or the silver spear butt attack. A D4 plus that, so we will have those as well. All right. So we have a D8 and a D4 for attacks, and those are going to be using his strength modifier. Although, no, we don't use... Do we use a strength modifier for the spear butt attack? I don't recall. Because it is a bonus action attack. I can never get that right. No, it's part of the thing, so I think it's completely fine. It's not a special, like, dual wielding thing. So yeah, we'll leave the strength in there. So we have an 8.5 and a 6.5 total for that damage, which is good. All right, now we have a couple of things. We have Favored Foe, which is dealing, since he's level 8, a D6 for that as an extra attack. Oops, wrong item there. All right, so the D6 for Favored Foe is right here, which is perfectly fine. Hunter Sense, don't think that's going to be anything important. We have Slayer's Prey. At 3rd level, you can focus your fire. First time, that's only a D6, so technically Slayer's Prey is okay, but Favored Foe, I believe, is better. Oh no, it's still the first time. Alright, so regardless, the Slayer's Prey and Favored Foe, each time, the first time you attack on your attack, you only get that one bit of extra damage, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Fear the Small, this one we always kind of get wrong. Let's see, when you damage a creature and attack with an attack or spell, creature's size is larger than yours, you can cause the attack or spell to deal an extra damage to the creature, the damage equal to your proficiency bonus. Alright, so that's +3 there. So we've got to recall that as well. Kind of funny how Psionists and monks keep getting flip-flopped with their points distribution through the different editions. I'd be curious to see what it looks like for 4th edition. I know not too many of us played that one. So we'll do that there. And then we have Fury the Small for that as well. And let's see here. Squat Nimbleness, Land Stride, these are all passive abilities. Polearm Master. That just allows us, we have an extra attack. That's fine. Dueling. Bonus to damage rolls with that weapon. Oh, I need to update his attacks because his spear butt should be dealing an extra 2 points of damage, which I don't think it is. Yeah, that should be +2. I'll fix that there. And the spear butt also should be +2. Interesting. Because he wields the spear one-handed to get that bonus. Alright. So then, that should be +2 there. And then the spear, it's the silver spear, should be this +2. So we're looking at 10.5 for the spear, 5.5 for the spear butt attack, and... or no, not spear butt, excuse me. No. That's fine, because that's the Favored Foe. There's the spear butt. Okay, +2 there. So we have a total of 10.5 for the spear attack, 8.5 for the spear butt, 3.5 for Favored Foe or Slayer's Prey, 3 extra damage for the Fury of the Small. And glad we skipped 4E. I played like one game of 4E, not even a whole campaign. It was one day we were supposed to keep playing, and that's as far as we got. And the characters pretty much almost all died because there was way too many kobolds. Way too many. All right, I think that's pretty much it there. We do have spells to consider as well. So we have, let's see here, Zephyr Strike, which is always good for one quick attack. Magic Weapon could be handy if it's set up beforehand. That weapon becomes Magic Weapon with a +1 bonus to the attack rolls and damage rolls. Takes a bonus action to set up though. And we have Searing Smite, Zephyr Strike, and Ensnaring Strike. So let's see here. Next time you hit a creature with with the attack, the spell ends. Okay, so they get restrained, which is super handy because of that bonus there for restrained. And just if you saw the live stream for the UNT versus the Lizard Folk, thank you. The Lizard Folk really did work with the restrained condition. So Ensnaring Strike, if it lands, is going to be pivotal for sure. Yeah, never underestimate kobolds, that's for sure. Yes? Yeah, I believe so, Mike. Searing Smite. What are we doing with this one? Fire damage. Okay, so we could do... Yeah, that one would work too. So I wonder what would be the better setup for this. Probably Magic Weapon to get that +1 bonus to attack and to all damage on every strike. And then from there, we could do like a Searing Smite on round 2 and then like an Ensnaring Strike on round 3 and just really ramp up the damage, potentially. That's considering that it all lands with a DC 13 as per his spellcasting bonus, which isn't the greatest, but it's a potential. Alright, so for our multi-attack is going to simply be 2 Spear Strikes, and occasionally we might throw in a bonus action Spear Butt attack as well. So, whoa, that is really off. Times 2 plus that. So we can go anywhere from 21 to 29.5 points of damage on every round of combat. His attack bonus is going to be a 7 as well, because he has a +4 in strength. And then, let's see here. What can we do? Oh man, he rolls a 2 and has a 13 to hit, which will hit the majority of monsters for sure, Hair Doctor. Yeah, groups of small things, as we've all learned. Alright. So let's see what happens here if we do a whole bunch of spell casting. And actually, no, we can't do the magic weapon bonus because they're all freaking concentration. So he has to pick one and stick with it. So what would the better option probably would be magic weapon, to concentrate on magic weapon, because it then gives him a +1 bonus to attack, which helps him hit better, and then deals an extra 1 point of damage every round as well. All right, so we'll do magic weapon first. We're gonna do that. So over here we're gonna say +1 AC. No, not AC. Excuse me. +1 attack bonus for the magic weapon, and +1 damage every round for the magic weapon bonus. I mean, it's not much, but it's gonna do something. So in round 1, we go in and we set up magic weapon. So we won't get the bonus spear butt attack. But we can also then do the one attack of, we'll say, what is it, favored foe at 1d6. Plus we can throw in a Fury of the Small. And then after that, we can go and say, now we have our magic weapon set up, we'll go in for the full attack. Plus the one favored foe again, and then maybe be conservative and we won't do Fury of the Smalls. I mean, we can do that how many times? We have a total of 3 uses of Fury of the Small, which we don't have to dry up. Maybe we'll be conservative with that. And then we'll do that twice. So that's what we're looking at, times 2. I know, we'll do that there, and we'll do that for round 3 as well. And wow. Yeah, let the Munchkin have his for sure. Interesting. So far, it looks like if we set up magical weapon, and then we go full multi-attack with the magic weapon on, and our favored foe damage, we're base minimum CR4. Oh, yeah. The custom has... Oh, man. Lucky and Sharpshooter? Oof. There you go. So, average DPR is going to be 32. The effective damage is an 8. Interesting. All right. So, it doesn't look like Magic Weapon did all that much work for it. Yes, he does use Protection from Good and Evil a lot, but did we have that set up? Let's see about the spell set up for that. It's an action to set that up, and at the moment, that really will hamper his action economy. Because we're thinking round 1, you get right into battle. While it is handy, and if we have an extra round to set that up, that'd be perfect. We could throw that in after the fact to see, but that would also take up the concentration. So let's remove that and throw in, we'll say, maybe a Searing Smite. We'll try out the Searing Smite and see if that updates the damage at all a little bit. Alright, next time you hit, you deal a d6, and then the target ignites in flames, and we'll be dealing extra 3.5 damage every round. So, let's go ahead and remove the bonuses for Magic Weapon, which doesn't seem to be well worth it right now. Still CR4. And we'll clear that out. And then as a bonus action, we will do our main strike. Or, yeah, we'll go set up Searing Smite for a bonus action. So, since it's the same dice, we'll do that. Then we'll also do Favored Foe. And we'll do a Fury of the Small for 3. And then we also do our main multi-attack. Ray Gun Pocket, hello! Let's see here. Thank you for joining. That's fine. They most likely took the archery fighting style. They are meant to be good at hitting. Rangers get the short end of the stick already. Let them be the sniper they want to be. For sure. Rangers were rough until Tasha's. I know, I played a player's handbook ranger up until level 20, and I tell you, by the time I hit CR10, I was not enjoying the class anymore. It was sad. Alright, so our damage output is a little higher, but wow, surprisingly enough, I still can't get Willix the Uncertain here up to a CR5 or anything higher, which is bonkers to me. With how much damage this guy can put out, you know, I still can't do anything better with the spell selections that he's picked. Alright, so what about if we were to do Ensnaring Strike? Let's try that one out, because with Ensnaring Strike, let's see here, target must succeed on a strength throw or be restrained. And while restrained by the spell, the target takes 1d6 damage at the start of the turn, of each turn. If you cast a spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, the damage increases by 1d6. So it might be worthwhile to cast Ensnaring Strike at level 2, and we'll go from there. So far, he's a CR4. I can't get Willix past this, which is bonkers to me. The monk somehow, with as you know, notorious as they are, I can get him up to CR5 or CR6 easily. And that probably helps to be, you know, a Gith Zerai as well. Okay, so we're going to use Ensnaring Strike this time. So let's come over here and throw on the Constrict. And we're going to constrict our target, which gives us a +1 effective AC bonus. And then while restrained, the target takes 1d6, but we're going to update it to a level 2 spell slot to do piercing at the start of a turn. Yeah, I mean, technically at level 8 Ranger, he should be minimum a CR4. But the fact that I can't get him any higher is a little concerning. Oh, I am forgetting, well, we do have Sentinel, and we do have the reaction, so that does help. We can throw in the reaction as well for an extra spear attack, which, in theory, would be happening every round. It's damage we could rely on, because that's Sentinel ability. Let's see here. I think he picked up Sentinel, right? Maybe he didn't. Oh, I must be thinking of my Paladin I was using that has Sentinel. Spellcasting Focus, Monster Slayer, Magic, Polearm Master. I guess he didn't get... Alright, I guess he didn't pick up Sentinel, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. let's finish this up and see if we can get Willix any higher. All right, restrained on round 1. So first off, we're going to do 1 multi-attack plus the favorite foe plus the Fury the Small. And then on subsequent turns... Oh, we can still technically add in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here. I'm going to take this times... Oh, shoot. I just messed all that up. All right, that plus this. And then we are going to say... We're going to cast Ensnaring Strike at level 2. See if it's worthwhile or not. All right. So we will also add in the 7 here. We're looking at 34. Oh, is it just Polar Master? I thought it was Sentinel that required that. Let me take a quick look here. Polar Master. Alright, while you're wielding this, other creatures provoke. Oh, attack of a company when they enter your reach. Okay, I was getting Sentinel confused. Thank you. Clorox, thank you so much. So we can throw in that extra damage too. Alright, we will just throw in the extra reaction damage for monsters moving into their range, just to see what the potential looks like here. Okay. So we have our monster restrained. Every turn they're taking 7 extra points of damage. So now we will go and... What am I doing here? Alright. This... plus, let's see here, that plus the 7 plus 1 more attack for reaction, and we will do that 2 times in a row. Now we can get a CR5, but that's also with spellcasting the Ensnaring Strike at level 2. If we were to say we cast it at level 1, still CR5, which is good. That's good to see. Yes, thank you, Ray Gun Pocket. I thought... Yeah, I do know that it stops people from moving away from you, but I got confused and thought it was also when they move into your threat range. Yes, that's for sure, Mike. Cuts their move to 0 when hits. Yep. All right. So it looks like, in the best case scenario, by using Ensnaring Strike, also getting off reaction attacks, using all that bonus action, we can potentially get him as high as CR5. But that's it. That's the maximum for Willix. So it looks like pretty straightforward. You know, what's true is true about, you know, a level 8 ranger is going to be basically a CR4. If we just take the multi-attacks, we set up... Alright, so we're going to do our multi-attack here. This is base stuff we can do every round here. We'll do the multi-attack, a full multi-attack, plus the favored foe, and 1 round of Fury the Small. So this one will just be 33. Oops, and 33 here. Yeah, sure enough, at minimum, when he can't really do much else of anything, and we're not going to count in any reactions here. If there's no monsters reacting, pulling the reaction for Polar Master, we have a CR4, which is cool to see. And just for the sake of it, if every round a monster moves into his range and he can react that way, or they leave, we could see also what that would be. Let's throw in that 10.5 there, and we'll just copy that. Still CR4. So without Ensnaring Strike at, you know, spell level 1 or spell level 2, and nothing really else modifying it, Willix is right down the middle here. You know, low defenses, only a DCR of 2 plus an OCR of 6, but sure enough is still a CR4 like we expected from the cheat sheet here. So that's good to know. Apparently the monk is greater than the ranger, which is shocking, but they do some work for sure. Let's see here. If we're being realistic, that reaction would only be provoked once. This is true, especially if they make the target restrained. Yeah. You know, we could think that maybe Willix is being the target of multiple monsters, but who knows. I'm adding a few, keyword being few, character levels to the NPCs my players may interact with fight. So far, the hardest is Warlock for me. Yeah, if I do this again, I will definitely look at more spellcasters as well to see, like, I have a sorcerer here. What can the sorcerer? And actually, this is Mike's sorcerer in the channel here. So this guy here, Maxwell, is Mike's character for my Tuesday games. Well, I do believe that is it for me. It's been about an hour, and thank you all for joining me as we looked at turning our characters into CRs and seeing if the ratio and the formula holds true. So I highly recommend anyone that is interested in it to get this cheat sheet from Sly Flourish. It's super handy and allows you to, you know, throw things out on the fly so you don't have to spend hours on end, you know, taking care of this stuff. Oh, wow. Nice. Got some spam going on here. Let's report that. Oh, dear. Ah, yes, I put the user in timeout. There we go. And delete that. Okay, so, especially since we're now being spammed with bots, I think it's time to call this one an end. Look up the Sly Flourish stuff for lazy encounter benchmarks. The deadly encounter benchmark you can find on his website. That's super handy right here. So thank you all for joining me. This is me, Andrew, as always, asking, are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for the CR Exposed live stream. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.